Well, good evening, folks. It's David here from the Fit 50 Project, and tonight we're going to be doing a review, not a workout. So let's crack on with this review and let's see what we're looking at. I think you might have guessed. Okay, folks, so what are we looking at tonight? Well, basically we're looking at the York FST or FTS bench, sorry. This is York's light commercial grade of equipment. So they do benches and racks and stuff that are this grade. What can I tell you about this bench? Okay, so the model is let me think, it's the 48004. Really sexy name. But this model is actually discontinued, and it's actually one of the reasons why I got it. One of two reasons. Cost being one, obviously, and being discontinued. Being last year's model, they do reduce the price down, and I actually preferred the color on this bench. The new model, if you want to go and look at it, is C190B, and you can check that out on York Fitness's website. Now, basically, one of the main reasons why I went for this older model is because, and sorry, I'm just going to tip it up so you can maybe see it a bit better, is because of the white finish on the uprights and stuff and the support beams, and then the matte black finish. On the newest model, it's just all black, and I felt that the white, the contrast in white, just looked a bit better in my humble opinion. Also, because this was last year's model, probably 2 years ago now, I was able to pick this bench up for £200, whereas the newer bench really ranges, unless you're getting it in a sale, it's from about £200 to £280. But York do a lot of sales, and they're actually quite good. They're well discounted, so I couldn't see there being too many issues with picking up the newer model for around the £200 mark, especially if you live on the UK mainland. In Northern Ireland, that's much more difficult, and I have touched on that before with the review I did on this bench, which is the York 540, because York don't officially ship to Northern Ireland. So it can be a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a challenge, but there are workarounds. Anyway, let's look at some of the specs on this bench. We've briefly touched on the price, and then we'll talk about why it suits me, because I know it isn't the best bench in this price range, but it was the best bench for me. Anyway, let's cut to the specs. Okay, so the specs on this bench, the overall height is 19 inches, the full length is 66 inches, and the width of the pad is 10 inches. Now for me, I think they're the most important specs that you'll need for the bench. I had other benches before, and they were maybe 20, 22 inches, and it was just far too tall. Number one, it was even tall for me, and I'm not saying I'm super tall, but I'm 5'11". But when my wife was trying to use it and my two sons, they were literally up on their tiptoes trying to land the bench and bench press, which was just unsafe because they didn't have a stable sort of base to work off, because their feet couldn't touch the floor flat. So yes, this is not in spec with the standard of a bench press and bench, which I think is 17 inches, but it is close enough for me. And the reason why it is slightly higher is because there are attachments that you can fit to it, and you do need that extra bit of height when you want to put likes of leg extension, etc. onto the bench, and we will talk about that a bit later. So it does have different adjustments on it. The seat has one adjustment, so I understand that might put a couple of people off, but again, I'll get to why I chose this. The one adjustment on the seat, if you'll see, the seat lifts up. There's a block here that you spin across and you drop the seat down. Now I don't know, maybe that's 20 degrees, 30 degrees, I don't know. I haven't measured it, and it doesn't actually name it on the spec, but it's pretty much perfect for locking yourself in if you want to do shoulder presses, which I'll show you on the when we get the back seat or the back pad up, right? but it's also really good height for your leg extensions because it really does help lock your seat in. And the design of the seat is similar to the design of the seat pad on the 540, where it flares out and the leg rollers for the leg extension is actually built in the seat, and I find it very comfortable. And particularly on this bench, the pad is actually really, really good. Now, I know some people might not like the shiny, slippy material, but if I'm being honest, this is what I'm used to. These are the type of benches I've trained on all my life. So the likes of them super sticky ones that Rogue and different ones use, I've never needed that, and I certainly don't need it now because I'm not lifting super heavy weights, so I don't need to be arching my back in and dropping my shoulders down into the bench and really digging my feet in, so I'm pushing down on that arch and then worrying, will I slip off? I don't lift like that anymore. I don't do powerlifting anymore. My lifting is really just about functional training. So one of the reasons why this bench worked for me. The pad is actually, like I say, it is comfortable. It's firm, but soft. Sounds a bit contradictory, but I think you understand what I mean. It's not rock hard where you lie on it and think, flip, I'm basically lying on a slab of wood here. It really isn't like that. It is actually quite a comfortable bench to use, but at the same time, it's firm enough where you feel really well supported. That aside, actually, you know what? I'll show you my wee tricks and tips at the end of the video rather than touching on them now. So then we go back to the backrest. Sorry, I'll actually just spin around here so I haven't got my back to you. So the backrest has 8 adjustments. You've got flat, okay? You've got a minus 30-degree decline. And I do use this as well when I'm doing my hamstring curls. I feel it gives you a better stretch. Then it goes obviously 0, 5, 10. I'm sorry, I'm just looking over here because I do have them written down. It's a 5, 10, 30, 80, and 90. Something like that. Anyway, it does go from basically 0 degrees up to 90 degrees with different angles in between. And I have never struggled to find the right angle for my lift. In general, I don't use the 90 degrees because it's too pulled upright. 80 degrees for me is about as upright as I'll get when I'm doing like some shoulder press and stuff like that. Some people prefer 85 degrees, but it's a bit nitpicking if you ask me. 5 degrees, is it making a huge difference? But anyway, let's address the elephant in the room, which everyone's probably looking at, which is the seat gap, and loads of people talk about the seat gap. It is quite large. I'm going to say the seat gap is probably 5 inches. And it is quite a substantial seat gap. But I have to say it doesn't massively affect me because I'm used to using benches that have always had a seat gap in them. Now, people will say, yeah, but you don't need to because modern benches will close up and, you know, you get gapless benches and blah, blah, blah. You're 100% correct. You can get gapless benches and they're probably really comfortable to use. I'm sure they're comfortable to use because the bench I would have used for bench pressing didn't have any incline or decline. It was just a flat bench. But they're quite a bit more money. So if you're going for a gapless bench that has usable leg extensions, then that pushes the price at least over £300, if not moving into 4 to even up to £1,000 with the likes of Freak Athlete and stuff like that. There, it has 1 million attachments. This is a bit of a compromise. Everything in my gym is a bit of a compromise. One down to price, one down to functionality, and what I needed to not just suit me, but a lot of it was to make sure that it suits the other people that use my gym, being my wife and my kids. So it's a really rock solid bench regarding stability. It does have a ladder system, but it isn't caged in. I know some people might freak out about that, but it is well locked in. There's plenty of on the catches where the actual post catches, the hooks are quite prominent, so it would take quite a bit for the bench to pop out. I mean, quite a bit. It is really solid. It's made of gauge 11 steel, which is good. This bench will outlast me. It's got wheels on the back for moving it around, good solid rubber feet, and a handle at the front where you can lift the bench. And it is light, very easy to lift and maneuver. It isn't designed to stand upright, but it can. But again, I don't store the bench upright. That wasn't a function that I necessarily needed. But what did I need from this bench? So what I needed from this bench was, because I'm operating in, limited space, I wanted to make sure that I could get as much of my workouts covered in here as possible, including my leg movements. So the bench I had, I was always compromising because I needed to have a leg extension, leg curl. They were the absolute non-negotiables. Now, having a preacher curl for it is a bonus, and generally any bench that you get a leg extension, leg curl with, you will get a preacher curl with. But for me, the leg extension, leg curl works really well on this. Now, like I say, I did have a bench before this, and it was from a local company. It was a good bench, but I just felt ergonomically it wasn't quite right. It was taller than this, so it gave you a lot of room when you were putting your leg extension in. Your feet weren't dragging on the ground when you were using it. But it just wasn't quite right. The levers weren't really in the right place, and it meant that it was quite an uncomfortable experience using it. Whereas this one, I've had to make a few compromises even with the attachments, because like I say, I bought this bench off Fitness Superstore and there were no attachments with it. So in my head I thought, well, listen, I'll just order the attachments from York because they have them online. The same attachments that fit the C19 0B, I know fit this bench. It's the exact same bench, it's just finished slightly differently. And when I contacted York, they basically refused to ship the parts to me. So that kind of put me in an awkward position. I suppose in hindsight, I maybe should have contacted York before I committed to the bench. But I had bought stuff off them before, and they had said, oh, we don't ship to Northern Ireland. I said, well, look, if I arrange for a courier to come and collect the products, so all you're doing is effectively, I'll pay for it online, you hand the product to the courier, and he ships it to me. It would be no different than really me living in England and coming and picking the stuff up, which they do offer for people that live in the UK mainland. And at the start that was okay, but then when I approached them about this, they basically said, no, we're not doing that anymore. So I have to say that's massively impacted my outlook on York, but that's just a different thing. When we're talking about the bench, I really like how sturdy the bench is. It's a fantastic platform to operate off. I do think it's really well built. It's 11 gauge steel. It's never going to crumble under anything I'm going to put on it. The padding is good. It's comfortable yet firm. It's a good width, so you don't feel like you're on a razor's edge, but also you get a good range of motion when you're pressing off it, that your shoulders can tuck back. So the 10-inch measurement on the backrest is pretty much perfect. The built-in leg or padding for when you're using the leg extension, which I'm going to show you, is actually really comfortable, really good. And I find this to be one of the best features, because when I was using the 540 bench, I loved it. And I thought, when I seen this and it was exactly the same, I thought, well, the exactly same as in the design language of it, but it's thicker, heavier and better built. I thought, no, 100%, because I know that system, I know it works, I know it feels comfortable, so I'm going to go for this. And it does work, but like I say, York would not ship me the leg extension that was designed for this, nor would they ship me the preacher curl. The only thing that did come with this bench was a leg lock-in system, basically for sit-ups, which I have here. Excuse me. We're back. So this is the wee lock-in system for if you want to do incline stuff for sit-ups, etc. It just fits into this slot here, and pretty much anything that's 50 mil, and this is the kicker, will fit into this. It has an adjustment bolt at the bottom, which is spring mounted. So you just basically pop that out, slide it down to your preferred depth, tighten it up, and you're in. And now we can lock our legs in. We can do sit-ups, incline, whatever. You can get a really good incline if you put the seat up, drop the back down, and it's a really effective incline for pressing off, sit-ups, whatever. So now, the build quality in these is actually quite good. The foam is quite a soft but really dense foam, so you feel well supported, but it's really comfortable. It doesn't dig into you at all. You know, some foam offerings that they give you, the foam rollers, they're so thin you can feel the bar through them, and they're pretty much useless. No, this bench is definitely much more towards the commercial grade, and you can feel it when you sit on it. Everything that comes with the bench is definitely much more towards the commercial grade and very good. And I have absolutely no doubt that this bench is going to outlast me, hands down, not a problem. But like I say, I had to come up with a few workarounds, and we're just going to touch on that now. Okay, so let's talk about the workarounds and the reason why I need this style of bench. Like I say, I needed there to be a level of flexibility regarding leg extensions, hamstring curls, etc. Preacher curls weren't that important to me, but in general, if you have that functionality, you end up getting preacher curl functionality with it. So York would not ship me the leg. We'll keep that one in as well. So York would not ship me the leg extension. So effectively what I had to do was try and find a leg extension that would fit and that I felt ergonomically looked very, very similar to the York one. So I did a bit of searching, scrolling through the internet. I did look at things like Body Solid and different things. I also looked at more premium stuff. But I found that a lot of them were based on Olympic weight plates, which I don't use. And I have spoke about that, why I don't use them. It's basically a cost factor. I already had quite a lot of standard weight plates. I didn't see the point in completely changing that. So I thought to myself, what can I do? Where can I find this? And what I settled on was this that you can see just above me. Now this is actually from Marcy, and they do a light commercial grade version of their stuff, and this is it. I can't remember the model number of this now, which is really annoying me, but I will put the details up of it on the video. I'll get that up on. So the specs are actually pretty good on this. It holds up to 70 kilos of plates, and I have had it with 50 kilos on, and it's not a problem. It's actually reasonably smooth for the fact that it's a very, very simple design. It pivots on this wee bolt here, which actually has a collar on it, so it isn't bearings and stuff like that, so it's not super smooth, but it never locks up. It never feels like there's a drag on it, and the weights move pretty freely, and there isn't a lot of shake in it. The only thing I had to change was the width of these holes, or should I say a diameter of these holes. So the Marcy stuff, let's say it was a 13 mil hole. but that was too small for the pin that is used with the York stuff. So I had to open it up. I think they maybe a 15mm hole, possibly 16. I can't even remember that right now. But it was really simple. The holes were there. They're in the right place. It is literally just about making the hole slightly bigger. And we're talking 5-10 minute job, 16mm drill bit in, drill it out, job done. And like I say, it just slots into the front here. Now, I really like this function because I do believe it works really, really well. In fact, give me 2 seconds and I'll just put a weight plate on it so you can see how it actually works. Okay, we're back. So we have the leg extension, leg curl on it. It's very simple to fit. Like I say, you just slot it down in, select the height you want it at, screw this in tight so it's nice and solid. I would put this up on this because when it's flat, it's too low. Your feet are like almost impossible to get into. Once you get it up on this, it's pretty much perfect. Now, you sit down on that and you get a really good stretch. It's actually, my legs are pushing this forward now because of the angle of the seat, and it lifts my feet well up off. Like I say, I have a 32-inch leg, so I'm quite long-legged in the sense of from my height, and it works perfectly. And basically, it's just a matter of getting your extensions right. Now, it has adjustability on the bottom roller as well, so I can either have this lower or slightly higher, depending on the measurement, obviously from my knee to my ankle. Another thing that I would normally do is have this up so you get a wee bit more support. That's pretty much where I would have it, so that when I'm doing my extensions, I'm lying back into the bench a bit. You can lie completely flat on the bench and do leg extensions, and I do that, but it does feel slightly different as an exercise. Not that it doesn't feel good, it works really, really well. But like I say, I mean, it's really well locked in. The clicking you can hear is actually the weight plates just moving on this, because these weight plates are from Decathlon and they aren't 1 inch, they're slightly bigger, so they move around a wee bit. And it's the same on the bars. The Decathlon bars are, say if your standard weight plate bars are, say, I don't know, what is it, 22mm or something, the Decathlon ones are 25mm, so that it gives you that wee bit of movement. So you do hear that, but that's literally the weight plates. So this works really well. Then we go into the leg extension. So that's just flat on the bench. I step in around the front like this. I keep the seat up at the angle because it gives me that hyper extension. I hope I'm not wrecking the microphone right now. And then we just squeeze up. Again, the noise is actually coming from the weight plates moving on the pin rather than the actual leg extension. So as you can see, it does actually work really well and quite comfortable. And I certainly feel like it's one of the better leg extension sort of add-ons you can get at a very cheap price, because the reality is this cost me £50. So that's an absolute bargain if you ask me. Everything else I was looking at was about anywhere between 100 to 300 quid. Again, I wasn't going to spend that money on it. I didn't have that in the budget. So you've got your leg extension, leg curls. Now what I did have to do was, my wife found that angle too high. So what I did then was, rather than using the inbuilt one, 2 seconds and I shall show you this. So what I did was I ordered some rubber blocks off eBay. They were basically, they're 10mm blocks. I used double-sided sticky tape to stick them together to get the height that was perfect. And then on the bottom, I actually used double-sided tape with magnets so that it sticks to the bottom. I just pop that on there like that. Seat drops down, probably reduces the angle by maybe 10 degrees. And that is the perfect height for my wife to use it off. Like I say, there are compromises I've had to make with this bench. Nothing expensive. I mean, that was maybe a £5 in total for all the parts. And it works perfect. Still stable. But the compromises outweigh the cost of what I would have had to have paid for the perfect bench that I wanted. Let's say, like a freak athlete that is £1,000 plus. Or if you go with, say, Prime or something, by the time you buy all the add-ons, it's well over £1,000. So yes, the bench on its own might be 400 quid, but by the time you get all the add-ons on, it's not. It's starting to get north of 1,000. So this bench, tick the boxes regarding price, tick the boxes regarding functionality, and tick the boxes regarding what I was used to and even how it would fit into my gym. And I have to say, I've been more than happy with it. Now there is, like I say, one more add-on, which again, as I said, York wouldn't ship me. But the thing that fell off earlier, we went with Marcy again because I know it fits. So we went with the Marcy Preacher Curl. So again, it just slots down in that hole. There's also a bar catcher with this wee Preacher Curl. So these rear holes are the holes that adjust the height in the bottom of the bench. These side holes are where you can actually adjust the bar catcher. In fact, I'll just show you that so you can see what that looks like. This is the Marcy bar catcher. It has a magnetic pin, which is quite a nice wee touch. So that just pops out. That will go on here like so. Magnetic pin seen through, boink. So that slots down, and then when you're done your Preacher curls, you just rest your bar on there. Okay. Again, there were other ones that I could have got, and Preacher curl wasn't actually like high on my list of things I wanted. But they did a deal where you bought the two, because realistically they're supposed to fit on a Marcy bench, and as a wee package, that basically was £50 worth of the package. That was £30 worth of the package. So 80 quid shipped to my door, and it massively increased the functionality of this bench. And to be honest, it was my original plan for this bench. It's just that I couldn't get the parts from York, so I went with the Marcy products, and I will, like I say, post the details on this. So let's just get all this off and let's just summarize the bench. Okay, so we're back. So this is the bench now, back to its original stripped down state effectively. What do I think about this bench? How would I rate it? Build quality, let's say we'll go out of 10. Build quality is a solid 7. 11 gauge steel, rock solid. It's not gonna fold under me no matter what weight I put on this. I feel really confident. You know, if I'm benching about maybe 110 or something, would usually 8 kilos, would usually be the highest I'm going in here. It feels absolutely rock solid. Like, I have no doubt that you could bench 200 kilos off this. Not a problem. I mean, it is rock solid, and the padding, no issue there at all, really comfortable. Like I say, it has that sort of old school faux leather slidey stuff, but that doesn't affect me because I'm not doing powerlifting, I'm training for reps, and in general, I don't need that level of stickiness. As a base to work off, it's extremely solid. The front legs being splayed like that help that. I understand some people might prefer the single leg because it's more narrower and it's easier to get your feet into position, but I literally find this is perfect because I just tuck my feet into that wee corner when I'm pressing. So that is really where I'm at. My feet aren't out the front. They're just tucked in here, and it fits fine. The adjustability, it has all the angles I would ever need to work off. I know there's benches that have so much more adjustability. They can basically go completely upside down, and you can nearly do gravity hinds and stuff off them. I don't need that functionality off it. So its adjustability is perfect for what I need. Even the seat, although it only has basically flat and I don't know what that is, 20-30 degrees, I don't know. A little bit of ingenuity, a couple of rubber blocks, you can easily adjust that, and it's every bit as solid. It doesn't affect, the stability of the seat at all, because effectively that's all the seat's doing anyway, is resting on that block. So all you're doing is making the block lower. Makes no difference. The fact that it has the tubing that you can add pretty much anything that has a 50mm bar on it is, I find, really handy, because like if I wanted to, I could drop a lat pull down on that, and I do have a lat pull down for this. It would fit that, and I could use this then as a lat pull down if I really wanted to. So there is a lot of functionality with it, and price wise, for £200 at the time when I bought this bench, and I did do a lot of looking around, I absolutely 100% agree, there are better benches out there for £200, as in standalone FID benches. But when you start putting on leg extensions and stuff, it becomes a bit of a problem, because either that throws the price of the bench up to like £600-700 because the leg extension attachments are so much more expensive, or you just can't put a leg extension on them, because they're not designed for that. They're literally designed for, bench pressing off and dumbbell pressing off, and it's incline decline. That is it. There is no way to put attachments on it. If you want then to go with attachments, you need to get, like I say, a standalone leg press, which again is 250 up, and that is, if you want to get then a literally standalone leg press hamstring machine, then you're going to take more room up, more floor space up in your gym. None of them things I can afford to do. So in total, like I say, I paid £200 for this bench, attachments £280. So for that functionality, for £280, I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. And not because it's bad, simply because I do get that there are benches that are more specialized. But the point is, it's value for money here too. So could I give it maybe a 7 out of 10? Yeah. Could I give it 8 or 9 out of 10? No, because then you're really creeping into, what's a 10 out of 10 then? Freak athlete, etc., etc. Some of the rogue stuff, some of the rep stuff, that's really specialized. But they're £1,000. So it wasn't going to go into my gym. I didn't have £1,000 to spend on that system. So in summary, for a light commercial grade bench that has good functionality and at the right price, I would definitely recommend the bench, the York FTS bench. Whether you can get your hands on the older one, which is the 48004 model number, or you get the newer one, which is the C19 UB model, they're identical except for the color, and both work very, very well. I would have no problem in recommending these for anyone who's building a home gym. In fact, you could easily put this in, say, like a leisure centre gym or whatever, and I guarantee you this thing is not going to fail on anyone. It's just not. But in that sort of setting, you're going to spend more money and get the gapless benches that have, that are more specialized for a wee bench that pretty much can do all the tricks at a low price, this would be the one for me. I have looked at body solid benches. There's certain wee design features that I just don't like on them. Like, I'm not a fan of the rounded headrests and stuff, and I do not like benches that use tubular construction, because they become very specialized in the sense of attachments. If you're not using attachments that are basically tubular, and there's not a lot of them about. So overall rating on the bench, a solid 7 out of 10. Am I happy with it? I'm very happy with it, because it has ticked a lot of boxes that I needed in my bench. And for £200 plus £80 for the attachments, I don't think you can go wrong. Guys, I hope this review has been interesting, entertaining, and I hope there was enough detail in it for you to be able to make an informed decision of whether this bench is for you or not for you. I'm not saying you should go out and buy this bench. I'm just giving you my opinion on it and how it's worked in my gym and how I've been able to utilize this bench. And basically, if you're in the market for a do-it-all bench for under £300, I would certainly suggest that you give this York a look at. If you're living in the mainland of England, I would definitely suggest you give the York a look at, because you can go and pick it up from any dealerships over there. Plus, you will definitely get sales on this. So anyway, this has been the York FTS. This is the 48004 model. I'm David from Fit50, and this review is out.